Alright, so we're back on the Doctor Who reviews. Episode 4 of Series 1, Aliens of London, Part 1 of the first two-parter of the new series. So, the Doctor and Rose return back to London, which they believe has been 12 hours, but as it turns out, it has actually been 12 months. A whole damn year. Rose goes home to her mom, and she realizes, the Doctor realizes there's a wanted poster for Rose. Not wanted, but like missing poster, I should say. And that's when he realizes it's been 12 months, not 12 hours. And to be honest, Mickey knew where she was, but he didn't outright tell Jackie, Rose's mom, that hey, she's out with the Doctor, she left with him. She's not missing, she's with the Doctor, but no, Jackie's mom is all crazy, and she's lost her mind in the Doctor, Then it happens. An alien spaceship crashes into, what is it, the Thames? Is that what it is on London? I don't know what it is. It crashes right into Big Ben, actually. And so this alerts everyone to an alien presence, to which the Doctor believes this may be when humans first came in contact with alien life, which makes you think, oh, so they're not going to acknowledge him being on Earth before. And yet, they said that in the first episode when they went to Clive, that he had been shown up and stuff. And now they even mention Unit, who had been in previous installments of the Doctor's adventures. And so that means he did exist, which means there has to have been other alien encounters on Earth before this. Yes, I know governments can keep things quiet, but and obviously Unit and the former Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, who is passed away by now, but it just, how this is the first thing people are saying about aliens when clearly something from the past 30 some odd years that the Doctor was doing his journey. Before this, who knows? And at this point, the Doctor decides he's going to leave. And this is just to go check out the alien they want, that was found. They make a big point of not showing us what it looks like until the Doctor investigates it. So this part kind of made me laugh a little bit. So the Doctor uses the TARDIS to go into the mortuary building, and he inadvertently walks into a room full of soldiers who all point their gun at him, and then when they hear a big bang coming from the mortuary itself, like where the bodies are, he's like, okay, protocol whatever it's called, and they all run after him like they're following him to this, and he's like commanding them to do stuff. And they find this alien creature. It was like a pig. And it runs off. It's still alive. It's still there. It runs off. And it gets shot by one of the soldiers. To which, the Doctor was yelling, don't shoot. But it shot anyway. Apparently he was just scared. And apparently they give us a logical explanation for mermaids. They say they put human heads onto fish. And they call it a mermaid. So apparently they did the same thing with a pig. It's a pig. They mess with his head to make it so it can move. It means there's really aliens out there, and that this was a distraction for something. So this is when the Doctor returns. Now, so Mickey sees that the Doctor was going to leave, And he runs out and he's gone. And then he shows up at Rose's house. Poor Mickey has not been called or contacted or anything since Rose has returned. And he walks in and she's like, I was going to call you, Rose does. And then some random lady goes, someone knows him an apology. And Rose is like, I'm sorry. And she goes, not you. And she looks at Jackie. And Jackie's like, I've been busy. You know, it's not the first thing that's going to cross your mind, but it should be one thing that crosses your mind. And then he informs her that the doctor has left. So she takes off to go find him. And Jackie follows. And the TARDIS rematerializes in front of him. And that's when Jackie realizes that he's an alien. She runs off and calls the fucking number on the TV. If you've seen Aliens, call this number. She calls the fucking number. I'm like, you dumb bitch. Although, I mean, he does get the ball rolling on the action, I guess, but yeah, and so then the doctor and Rose are in the TARDIS with Mickey, which he keeps calling Ricky, which I think is a payoff to an alternate version of him that we get later in the series, whose name really is Ricky, but that's not till later. So, as Lex Luger would say, I don't know! Anyway, so, as, you know, they come out of the TARDIS, they said, oh, we're going to take Mickey's car, and then they show up because Jackie blabbed her mouth and said the word doctor and TARDIS, and that alerted UNIT, and so they came and got him, and they took him to the Prime Minister, Billy Buckingham Palace, where, what was it called? Something Street. Wherever the Prime Minister is located. Parliament. I don't know. Downing Street. Took him to Downing Street. Now, I'm going to cut here and I'm going to go to the other side of this story. There's two sides to the story. This is told from the Doctor and Rose's perspective. The other side, from the alien's perspective. So, after this alien thing has happened, they call this fat guy, who is supposedly in charge of sweets, and somehow he gets called in. He meets with this other woman, I don't know what she does, and some other dude that's also there. And it turns out they're aliens. And they have zipper things on their heads that don't appear as zippers sometimes. And then sometimes they do, because the two that are in the room, they don't show the zippers until they start to unzip. But then there's a guy later that goes to Rose's house to confront Jackie, and he's got a hat on. When he takes the hat off, you see the zipper right there. I'm like, how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? Because half of them don't wear hats, and you can't see the zipper. And yet, this guy's wearing a hat over the zipper. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't make no sense. But anyway, so this side of the story is actually told not from the point of view of the aliens, but from Harriet Jones, MP, Broaddale North, or whatever it's called, Birddale North, whatever. And she's basically our point of view character for this side. She's trying to get in. She had an appointment, but, you know, bug her off because, as they would say, because there's more important things going on with alien invasion or aliens and stuff. So her appointment's not going to be kept. But she keeps insisting. She hasn't left the damn building since she got there. She's sneaking around. Yet no one has decided to kick this woman out. She's just been there. There's even a point where the guy, like a liaison or whatever, and then we say, oh, Miss Jones, for God's sake. You know, so she sneaks into the meeting room after the aliens leave. And she's looking at the protocol for what happens if the Prime Minister disappears. And she hears a noise and she hides in the closet. And then aliens come in with someone else and they go to turn him. And they unzip the heads and everything, and she sees it. We don't see the aliens at this point. We don't see the aliens show up till the end. But Oh, we'll get to that when the aliens show up. So she sees this happen. So now, then we later see Harriet exit the building, exit the room, and she's clearly shocked out of her mind what she just saw. And so this is when the Doctor and Rose are brought in, and they heavily say, hey, Rose has no ID badge, she's not allowed to go in, and the Doctor won't go in without Rose, but then Harriet Jones is like, I'll take care of her, it's okay, it's fine, I'll take care of her. And that's when she tells her that there's aliens. And we cut back and forth between the meeting in the room, in the Parliament room, whatever it's called, and then Jackie back at the house. And I should also note that Mickey ran off when the cops and helicopter start swirling around, yet they didn't chase after him. Like, he's running away and he hides like right there, yet they don't grab him at all. It's very obvious where he could be hiding, where he went, but they don't grab him. And I think that's convenience for the next episode, because if he's not out, he can't do what he does in the next episode. So we'll get back to that. So anyway, simultaneously, we see the Doctor at first is trying to figure out why, as he thinks it's a distraction, he realizes it's a trap, because they now have all of the top alien experts in one room. And so the alien guy, he unzips his head and he comes out and you see this alien. And the CGI version of these aliens, it's Doctor Who CGI from 2005. But there are some practical effects. Practical effects with the aliens are great. It's just when they have to run and they decide to use CGI, they're just kind of meh. And you see them, it's big-headed yellow thing with the giant claws. It's kind of intimidating. But then you gotta realize the side effect, I guess. Apparently, when they're inside a human skin or whatever it's called, they fart. Yeah, terrifying, huh? Even when the end, when this thing comes out and it's like this, and there's one in Jackie's living room and it's freaky, you still think, but they're farting aliens. They were sitting in... There's even a whole, minute and a half of dialogue when they first go into the meeting room. There's a beginning. Well, all three of them are farting and laughing. It's later when they turn the other guy, and they're farting and laughing. And it's just, oh, there I go. Oh. And it's just like... And then these things come out, and they're freaky looking, but you still get back in your head, you're going, farting aliens. That throws you off. And yes, if they left that farting stuff off, it would be kind of terrifying. Maybe they need some comic relief. Who knows? But who knows? Also, it was kind of funny when the Doctor first gets to that mortuary building, he opens the door and they're all standing there, and they point all their guns at him. He just goes and smiles. I'm just like, Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor was great. It's too bad we only got one season with him. And I'm going to talk about this here, because something that I was watching some countdown or something yesterday about MCU villains, and Doctor Who actors in the MCU, and Christopher Eccleston was one of them. He played what was his name? He was the head dark elf or something. I don't know. That's how much he wasn't memorable. They stick him behind some latex and stuff and makeup and all that, and he's one of the most charismatic actors you have, and they do nothing with him but, I want the red thing. That's about it. And he's great here, and it shows you the versatility of Christopher Eccleston in this role. Could have been so much better if they used that in the MCU for something. Could have made him Loki, for God's sake. Yes, he's a little bit older than Chris Hemsworth, and their both names would be Chris, but who cares? I think it would have been a great Loki. Anyway, so we get to basically the end, is that, there's because Harriet takes Rose into that meeting room where she's talking about the aliens, and they bump into the Prime Minister's body. He's dead. And that's when the little Rudy dude comes in, and it's revealed he's not with the aliens, really. He's been doing what they want him to do because he's a little stooge and he doesn't realize what's going on. And then he's like, that's the prime minister. But he left. I was told he was left. And then you hear a lady's voice going, and who told you that? Me! And it's one of the alien ladies, and she turns into alien. So you got 3 different things where alien pops out, and then end episode. That's how we end. The alien transformation. Where does a blue light come from? They go to change, and you see this blue tinted light up against our main characters, and it's just like, where is the blue light coming from? From the aliens? From the bodysuits? Where? It just happens. All 3 locations, the blue light happens. I don't get it. And then it turns out the name tags I have on electrocuted them. I remember when I first watched it, I called bullshit, and I still say it now. I don't think it should affect the Doctor. We see it affect him. He's got electrocutions, but and I know he's an alien. I know he's been treated as mortal, but he can regenerate whenever he dies. Can you imagine? I've thought about this before. Now, a Time Lord itself has 13 regenerations. And so if you count the War Doctor and the regeneration into the hand, we'll later see later, with the hand, I should say, then that's 13 altogether by the time we get to Matt Smith. So can you imagine that if he regenerated, then got shot in the heart? If he got shot in the heart once, then he regenerated, then shot again, and he just keeps regenerating, and someone just keeps shooting him in the heart. All 13 regenerations like that. Now, later canon, terrible canon, Chibnall, would have you believe that he has more than 13. But that's, shit, Chibnall. And we'll get to that eventually down the road, because that's... the Timeless Children is a whole video of its own. So we're not even going to go there. But here, let's just say, what if? Like, he's electrocuted and they're all supposed to die. But I know that this version of the Doctor does not die. But he does not regenerate here. So, if it's something that will kill everyone else, but not the Doctor, he must be stronger than a human. 1. And 2, why doesn't he regenerate? Other than, it's not time. You know what I mean? We'll get more to that in the next one. But, yeah, that's how it basically ends. Everybody getting electrocuted, aliens attacking Rose and Harriet and little stoogey dude, and then Jackie, of course. And, yeah, that's it. That's end of part 1. It's a 2-part. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is. Aliens of London is part 1. World War III is part 2, and that'll be next. So, what are your thoughts on Aliens of London? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.